Hello there everyone, Carol from the Crafty Emporium. Bump, bump, bump. In fact, double bump, because it's coming up to Easter. In fact, the day that this is released, it's probably Easter Day. So happy Easter, everybody. Okay, I want to talk to you about the cover and how I'm going to decorate that. Now, I've chosen these antique brass corner designs, and I'm going to stick them on the four corners, on the front and on the back. Now, if I just attach just that brass corner to the actual cover, because this is patterned, the patterned bit is showing through the cutout part of the corner, and you kind of lose the effect. So I came up with a cunning plan. So what I did was I pre-glued them onto some black card, and then I used glossy accents, so I can now cut these out. And I've left the edge here, the decorative edge, I've left that kind of unglued so that I can just pull it back a bit. Just show you, I can just pull it back a bit and just slip the scissors in at a sharp angle to cut away a straight line, and then I haven't got to fussy cut around the actual shape. So there you go, one done, one not done. Okay, now I'll show you what they look like on the back. So I'll give you a close-up. So that's what they look like when they've been attached onto the black cardstock, so you can kind of see the cutout design on those now. And you'll also see that I've added on the back here my eyelet and some seam binding, which I've coloured up, and I've coloured it up with old paper, antique linen, and a tiny dash, it's a bit like a recipe, and a tiny dash of vintage photo to give it this effect. It's the antique paper, old paper, sorry, that gives it this sort of a slightly greeny colour. So that's now all ready and prepared to go. And I've put a key charm on the end of it, and it's actually got a heart in the key charm as well, seeing as it's love letters. So I'm going to stick these on, and then I'll come back and talk to you about the next bit. So now I want to show you what I'm going to do with the spine. And I chose this image from the Graphic 45 paper pack, and what I've done is, I don't know whether you can see, but at the leg joint there was a circle on the print, and so I've added a tiny brad there, and I've also done the same on the ankle joint as well. Hopefully that's focusing. If not, I'm sorry. But I've added two tiny brads and then a large brad then at the ankle joint. And I also added, as the raven's wearing a crown, so I found a crown within my stash, so I've added that on top as well. So I've put some micropore on the back where the brads are, but what I did was, this was too long, so I had to cut it down to size. It was the great width, but the length was too long, so I cut it down to size, and then I've mounted it onto a piece of black card, and then that is going to sit on the spine like so. So I'm just going to add that, and then you can see what it looks like. Make sure that you've got your book the right way round. Done that before now, stuck it on upside down. Okay, and that is going to sit there. I want to make sure I've got in this equal border all the way around. And I might attach a couple of paper clips, because where these brads are, it's created a where these brads are, it's created a little bit bulk behind, and so it's just raised up here. So I don't know whether this, no, I'm going to have to put paper clips on. Have I got any to hand? Yes, I have. Let's slot it in between each page, see if it'll fit. Just to hold it down whilst that glue takes. So I've just added some paper clips on there now to just hold that in place, to keep that little bit of where it's raised up, to keep it in contact with the spine. And this now also adds a little bit of extra strength to the spine as well, because it's another layer that I'm adding to the spine. So I'm going to leave that to set, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I'm going to do with the front cover. So that's what it looks like. Sorry, I can't fit it on lengthwise. So if I tilt it at an angle, that's what it looks like. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, be back in a second and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the front. Now on the front cover, what I've done is I cut out part of one of the pages that I got left over, and again I've attached it onto a piece of black cardstock just there, and then I attached it to a piece of corrugated card. Now, little tip for you: when you get cardboard, sometimes if you try and peel off the top layer, it doesn't always come away, and then you get this bit here, and you might not want it all completely off, but it does get to a point where it becomes quite difficult sometimes to try and pull off what you want. And one of the things that I found, this one's actually coming off quite easily, but one of the things that I found is, you know how when you used to put, oh sorry, I've done this before now, but you put a letter over the top of the kettle as it's boiling, and it steams the envelope open, and then you can seal it back up. Shh, don't tell anyone. Well, you can do the same with this. If you run it over the top of the kettle as it's boiling, it seems to slacken off the glue a little bit. So if you're having difficulty pulling this paper off to reveal the corrugated bit underneath, it just helps to release it, and it makes it slightly easier. Obviously you have to keep going back and doing a bit more and a bit more, and we don't always want all the paper coming off, but you do want some of it off. And as I say, sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it does, but if you are having difficulty, try the kettle, as a little tip for you. Okay, get rid of that. So what I did was I cut a piece out, and then I ripped all the edges, and then I inked the edges up. The other thing that I did was I put 4 brads in the corner, and I pushed them right the way through to the back of the cardboard, and then I added this handle which has got a loop on it. So it's got a little handle there, and again I attached that with brads so that will sit on the front there. Now, whilst I thought, yeah, okay, that's good, I wanted to do a little bit more with it. So what I then did was I cut a piece of card, black card, the same size as this piece here, and I've folded it in half so that I've made like a little booklet. Okay, done a thumb hole at the top, I've added pockets on the inside, and I've added some journaling cards in there. And then what I did was I put a magnet on this side, and I put a magnet on this side, so that when the two shut, they're attracted to each other. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto the back of this. So let's do that now. I want to put plenty of glue on, and especially round where this magnet is. And again, I've got an Amazon affiliate link in the description box beneath the video, linking you to the magnets that I use. And then I'm going to sit that on top of there, and that covers over those brads. And then I'm going to put glue on the back side of this little booklet as well. So I've put glue on the back side of this booklet, but I've only put it around the 3 sides because I've got this thumb hole at the top, and it means that I can put a tag behind this when it's attached to the front cover. So if I bring this in, and then centralize it, and then that will sit in there. Now I'm going to go off and just make sure that this is in the right place and let it set, and I'll be back in a second and let you see what it looks like. So here's my front cover, all done and dusted. So what I've done is, with this key, this is weighting down the closure, and I've just popped it through the handle that's on here. So if I flick that up and push that through, and then this then opens up to reveal the pockets and the pocket at the top here that I'm going to put a tag in, so that that then shuts, that slots in there, and then if I put the handle down, it kind of closes it down. Now I've left enough of the seam binding so that as this starts to fill up, then the key will go further up as the closure. At the moment it's dangling quite low, but that's to allow for the fact that it's going to get fatter. And then, as I say, there's the spine that I've done and the cover, and then I've also put the metal corners on the back. I'm leaving the back completely plain. So that's the outside of this journal now done. Now I'm going to come back in a couple of days' time and show you the completed thing. I'll do a complete flip through, so that you can see what it looks like completed. Thanks for joining me today. Have a lovely day, even though I know that we're sort of stuck at home, but have a lovely Easter everyone, and I'll see you all again really soon. Bye for now.